But truth be told, I really think this is the most Riku-centered game we're ever going to get. And I think it's such an important chapter, not only in his story, but in Sora's story as well. I find a lot of people are actually confused by Sora's story or Sora's character arc in Kingdom Hearts 3, but I actually think both Coded and especially Dream Drop Distance set up Sora's story arc in such a compelling way. You know, a lot of people always ask, where did that cockiness from Sora in Kingdom Hearts 2 go? Dream Drop Distance will show you where it goes. We'll show you how that line of thinking gets him into trouble. So, again, there's going to be some things we cover here that's covered in my why KH3 Sora is the best Sora, but ultimately we're going to be speaking about Riku just as much as we talk about Sora in today's episode. This was his swan song. In some ways, like, he's still going to be important, and he's still going to be the secondary protagonist to Sora. I don't think anything like that changes. But again, this is going to be the most Riku-centered game that will ever exist in the Kingdom Hearts series. I would love to be wrong about that, but I don't see any indication that another one is coming. Pardon me while I take the swig. Now, let's talk about one thing here. And I'm not going to talk about these story beats chronologically, by the way. But I want to talk about Riku, then we can talk about Sora. But I want to lead with Riku here. I think what a lot of people fail to understand, I see a lot of people saying, how could Riku be a master, but Sora isn't? How could Aqua be a master, but Sora isn't? And one of the things I think a lot of Kingdom Hearts fans fall into is all they look at is power levels, how strong somebody is. And yes, Sora is one of the most powerful Keyblade wielders in the series. You could argue he's more powerful than Aqua. You could argue he's more powerful than Riku. I most certainly would. But then the question becomes, but then why isn't he the master? And I'll explain it simple as this. The Mark of Mastery exam is not about mastering the Keyblade. The Mark of Mastery exam is and always has been mastering oneself. I'll say that again. The Mark of Mastery exam is not about mastering the Keyblade. It's about mastering one's self. You see that in Birth by Sleep when Terra and Aqua take the exam. They're not measuring who's the most powerful. They're measuring who can keep their darkness in check, who is the most in control of their power. That's the mark of a master. Not your ability with the Keyblade, not your power level. Rather, it's the mastery of oneself. In a lot of ways, Sora, like Anakin, cannot be allowed onto the council, onto the Jedi or Keyblade-wielding council, because they have not mastered oneself. That's what the Mark of Mastery exam is all about. I don't know who's calling me, but they're going to have to wait. Somebody from Ontario. I don't know any I know some Canadians, but none of them like to talk on the phone. That moment aside, it's about the mastery of oneself. Aqua displayed it in Birth by Sleep. It wavered on her journey, but by fragmentary passage, she finds it again, and then it wavers. So the mastery of oneself is not like a complete mission, like you did it once, now you're good at it. It is something that has to be maintained and kept up. Now, going back to Riku, I want to watch this scene. We're actually going to go back, I'm going to rewind. I want to watch this little scene here for a second. Let's back it up. You're going to learn right here why Riku is a master and Sora isn't. Okay, I'm going to mute myself. We're going to let this scene roll. And
Can teach you the proper way. Both of you are self-taught Keyblade wielders, an impressive feat. However, the time has come for you to let go of preconceived notions, forget what you know about the Keyblade, and begin your training again with a clean slate.
Huh? But that's a formality, right? I already proved myself.
okay, right there. You see that? Already Sora is not respecting the process. Yen Sid is the master. He's the elder. He is the eldest master that the Guardians of Light have at their disposal. Right? A man who both achieved mastery of the Keyblade and gave it up. And here Sora is right away like, but that's a formality, right? The fact that we're self-taught, that no master showed us, I already proved myself. I already proved myself. This isn't Inside Out, is it? No, okay. Sorry about that. again, it's not that cockiness that everybody loves in Kingdom Hearts 2. I think it would be wise to not see it as a virtue, right? This is Sora's pride, which may connect him with the Master of Masters, depending on where that subplot goes, where those themes and symbolism take us. But he's showing a lot of pride here. Like, oh, but thinking, oh, I beat Ansem. Oh, I beat Xemnas. I already proved myself. Isn't all that just a formality? Because when it comes to Sora and Riku, being presented with a clean slate means two very different things to both of them. Being presented with a clean slate for Sora means, what? All my achievements mean nothing? Beating Ansem means nothing? Climbing Castle Oblivion means nothing? Defeating Xemnas means nothing? Whereas for Riku, and we're going to see this in his reaction when I play the scene, his reaction is actually like, it humbles him, and he welcomes the idea of a clean slate, right? Because he's somebody who has fallen in the past. He's somebody who has failed in the past. He was right beside Sora when they defeated Xemnas, right? But he doesn't let that go to his head. And this whole idea of a clean slate and relearning, Riku seizes that opportunity to master himself, whereas Sora is threatened by this idea of a clean slate. And if you know how Dream Drop Distance ends, you see where Sora's pride and Riku's humility gets them both. Now, let's get back into it.
Me and the King and Riku, we can take on anything. Right, Riku?
I don't know. I think that in my heart, darkness still has a hold.
Now, right there is, we always talk about morals of the story. The first morals are right in front of you, right there, introduced. You have one character whose confidence is masked by pride, right? And then you have Riku, who's showing this humility to the process and is questioning himself, doubting himself, right? I love these ideas, right? Because it shows that, like, the world isn't always so black and white. There's certainly black and white aspects to our world, but it isn't always so black and white. Confidence is very frail if you're not also questioning and doubting yourself, because that keeps you in check. Both of them have to find the balance. And in a way, that's light and dark, right? The light that gives you confidence, the darkness that gives you self-evaluation and criticism, right? There's a balance between both. Sora is leaning completely into this confident aura, not doubting himself. And in some ways, not doubting yourself could be a virtue. But if you are blind to your own faults, then it's not a virtue. It's a vice. And that's the balance that Riku displays in this game. And right here from the get-go, their fates were decided 10 minutes into the game. We are 10 minutes into this story, and their fates have already been decided. All of this was decided, you might say. Okay, let's get back into it.
Walking that path changed me. I'm not sure if I'm ready to wield a Keyblade. Maybe I do need to be tested.
Riku. Then count me in. Put me through the test. Just watch. Me and Riku will pass with flying colors.
And you know what? You got to give him credit, too. When animation was so much more limited back then, and you even see it in the, Sora can't read the room in a way. If you look, he's got his hands back, oh, we got this, whereas Riku's looking at him like, hey man, and you look at Mickey, Donald, and Goofy are all looking at each other too. It's a very interesting dynamic that develops in the very beginning of this game.